Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Faces and Heels, your podcast for professional wrestling, in particular, the WWE, here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and let's get ready to rumble! WWE's Royal Rumble 2024, which came to us from St. Petersburg, Florida. Oh man, what an event. It was full of excitement, full of surprises. Yeah, this was a pretty good pay-per-view. We all know we're on the road to WrestleMania, and tickets to the main event of WrestleMania were on the line tonight. We had two Royal Rumble matches, a 30-woman Battle Royal or Royal Rumble, and a 30-men Royal Rumble match to decide who will get the main event WrestleMania and take on the champion of their choosing in the main event, along with a fatal four-way match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship between the champion Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton versus AJ Styles versus L.A. Knight. Yeah, and a singles match for the WWE United States champion, where the champion Logan Paul defended his championship against Kevin Owens. As I said, what a night. You know, there's no point prolonging the time. We can go through all that has led up to these matches, led up to these confrontations at tonight's premium live event, but we went over all of that in our preview and prediction show, which we did a couple of days ago. But now, without further ado, let's jump into the Royal Rumble, beginning with the first match of the evening, and it was the 30-woman Royal Rumble match for a women's championship match at WrestleMania. I love these premium live events where we kick off with probably the best match of the night. But this was a very exciting match because there were a lot of questions going in. Who was going to pop up? Were we going to get some surprises here? Because leading up to this match, only I think 6 women were declared for the match, so that left 24 different possibilities. And we got quite a few. In case you don't know, and I don't know why you're listening, but I'm glad that you are. But in case you don't know how the Royal Rumble match goes, the match starts off with 2 competitors. Every 30 seconds, another competitor enters the match. The only way you well, not the only way. Well, it technically is. But once the competitors enter the ring, they are eliminated, not by pinfall, not by submission. They have to go over the top rope, and both feet have to hit the ground. That is an elimination. So the match starts off with Natalya coming out first. She was the lucky woman to draw number 1. And they wasted 0 time with the first surprise of the evening, because coming in at number 2 was the return of Naomi. Oh man, you want to talk about chills to see her come back, man. And it just made the world a better place. This is where she belongs. All respect to what she did in Impact and in TNA. She was the TNA Knockouts champion for a while she was there. And she just recently lost that championship. And a lot of speculation was going around, like, okay, is she coming back to the WWE? But it really wasn't much chatter about it. And that chatter was silenced tonight when she returned and put on a show. She was in this match for about an hour. She hung in to the bitter end here. And it was just good to see her back. Our other participants coming in at number 3 was Bailey, then Candice LeRae, and then our second surprise of the night. Once again, they did not wait long. It was the hear me and hear me out clearly. The TNA Knockouts champion, Jordan Grace. Just shocked. Just shocked. Now, WWE has done this before. They have worked with TNA. Remember a couple of years ago, Mickey James came back, and she was the TNA knockout. Well, at the time, they were the Impact World Champion, Knockouts Champion, and she came back to the Royal Rumble, and that was kind of like, okay, the forbidden door is open, nice little touch. But this go around, it just felt different. It just felt different, and she put on a great performance. I always wanted to see Jordan Grace in the WWE, but she seems happy where she is, and she does a good job where she is. She's the champion, of course, and she put on a show here. After Jordan Grace, we got Indy Hartwell, Asuka, Ivory Now, Katana Chance, Bianca Belair, Kairi Sane, Tegan Knox, Kaden Carter, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, Xia Li, Zelina Vega. You had Maxine Dupree come in and just go on a botch fest. Poor Maxine Dupree. And Nia Jax entered, and you knew what time it was when Nia Jax entered the ring. But up to that point, it was a free for all. Nia Jax displayed her power. It was a good face off between Nia Jax and Piper Niven. A show of strength between these two ladies and everything. And, the elimination started to kind of mount up to that point. Up to that point, the crowd kind of went dead, and understandably so, because these are more mid-card, mid-card talent that was in the ring. Nothing really exciting was happening. I mean, they were doing good. It wasn't bad, but it was no excitement. It was just, everybody just fighting in the ring, trying to struggle to get people out of the ring and stuff like that. There was no eliminations until Nia Jax got into the ring. After Nia Jax, we got Shotzi come out, and then the man, Becky Lynch, comes to the ring. Was awaiting the showdown between her and Nia Jax, the history leading up to this match with the two. And we had Amber Fire from NXT enter the fray. Shayna Baszler entered, and then we got probably one of the best comedy moments of the night entering this match. And it wasn't for the actual 24th entry, who was Valhalla, coming out to the ring, and then all of a sudden you hear R-Truth's music, and he comes out because he drew 24, but he thought it was the men's. It was time for the men's, and he comes into the ring and pushes. Basically, he didn't push. He just walked past Valkyrie and looked at her like, "Why are you out here?" Gets into the ring, and Nia Jax throws him over the top, which caused a distraction for Valhalla. She finally gets in the ring and gets eliminated in 5 seconds. And now she's upset with R-Truth because he cost her the Royal Rumble. Meechin enters the match, after which Zoe Stark enters the match. We get another NXT superstar with Roxanne Perez, which was a nice pop for her, and she put on a good show. And then coming in at 28, the woman wrestler who we've been waiting on since they announced her signing months ago and haven't seen her touch a ring, but we finally get it tonight, and it was Jade Cargill at 28. Oh man, you want to talk about goosebumps, and the crowd just popped when she came out, and kudos to her. She came in and did excellent. Yeah, it was a little stiff at times because I imagine she was nervous, but it only lasted for about 5-10 seconds, and she shook it off, and they went at it, even to the point where she picked up Nia Jax like she picked up a I don't know, a sofa cushion or something. I mean, she just picked her up and actually eliminated Nia Jax. Eliminated Becky Lynch. She eliminated Naomi. And it was someone else she eliminated, but she ended up making it to the final three. But after she had entered, we got Tiffany Stratton from NXT, another powerhouse, a female wrestler who put on an excellent show. And then at number 30, which I was expecting, and I must admit, I was a little let down, to be honest with you. But it's nothing against her. I'm not hot or cold with Liv Morgan, but it kind of just fell flat with me. At 30, you had Liv Morgan. And, when she won the championship, at Money in the Bank, can't get it out. Money in the Bank a few years ago, I was really emotional when she won. It was cool, but it just here it didn't do anything for her. I was glad to see her back. It's been a while. She's been hurt, but she made it into the final three along with Bayley and Jade Cargill, and ultimately my prediction came true. I felt good when it happened because I was like, yeah, I picked that. And the winner, who lasted in this match for an hour and 3 minutes, mind you, was none other than Bayley. Bayley is your winner of the 2024 Royal Rumble, and she goes on to WrestleMania to take on either Rhea Ripley or who I think she's going to take on, Io Sky, her fellow bandmate, if you will, from Damage Control. And so that was a really, really good match. I really enjoyed this women's Royal Rumble match. I thought it was good. It got kind of stale in the middle. As I stated earlier, it was a little stale in the middle because everybody was just filling time until we got to the heavy hitters. But overall, it was exciting. You got some surprises in there. Maybe not the ones that we were hoping for, because I was expecting, I guess I could say it now, I was expecting to see maybe Sasha Banks or Mercedes Money, or whatever she goes by now. I was expecting to see her possibly pop up. I was expecting maybe to see AJ Lee pop up. But it didn't happen. But it's cool. And at the end, when we got our final three, I honestly, for a moment there, I thought they were going to give it to Jade. I thought Jade Cargill was going to go over, and we would have saw Jade versus Rhea Ripley, which would have been cool. But obviously, she's not ready. This was her first time touching a WWE ring and go straight to a championship match at WrestleMania. A little early there, but it would have been nice to see it. But she looked good. Honestly, she looked good. I didn't watch much of her in AEW because I don't watch AEW. But the little that I did see of her, it was a little sloppy. Of course, they didn't have a performance center at AEW. I don't think they have people that really work with you at AEW like WWE has the performance center. They have NXT. Is a lot of work goes into performing, and I saw improvement just in this match. I saw a lot of improvement, but I think the right person won. I really do, because Bayley, out of all the accolades she have, I think this is her first time winning the Royal Rumble. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments or whatever. But I believe this was her first time winning the Royal Rumble, and hey, well earned. I mean, she came in at number 3 and outlasted everybody, and looked good in the match. And so, congratulations to Bayley, the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble match. our next match, which was early, I thought this was really early, which told me something going forward in this premium live event, that we had some things to expect, some surprises later on. But we got the Universal Undisputed Championship match, the Fatal 4-Way between Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, LA Knight, and the Viper, Randy Orton, for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. It was kind of weird to see it be the second match on the card, but that don't mean that it wasn't going to be a bad one. The match starts off hot. You know, all four competitors are doing their thing. It was more of a focus on the three challengers early on. And I say that, you know, they all teamed up on Roman Reigns, then they went to focus on each other. And, you know, that back and forth was decent. This match, I don't know, how can I put it? It wasn't a bad match. It was entertaining for what it was. It was only, 20 minutes. And, you know, it did what it was supposed to do. Went in, went out, and that was that. Roman Reigns retains his championship. You know, not a big shock there. Even though I was kind of hoping that we got a changing of the guard there because of the Rock factor. You know, if the Rock is truly going to challenge Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, the belt, that's an afterthought. You really don't need the belt for that. And so I was kind of hoping that he lose it before then, and this would probably be the best spot to lose it. But he did retain, and it was entertaining for what it was. I don't know if that Randy Orton injury was legit, but it looked kind of legit because he was favoring it a lot in this match. It could have been a work, it could have been a shoot. I'm not 100% certain, but you can clearly see that midway through the match, he was kind of tentative when it came to that shoulder. Either that's some real good acting or he was legitimately hurt. But either way, I think it went the way they planned it out to be anyway. In the Fatal 4 match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Roman Reigns retains his championship by defeating AJ Styles, LA Knight, and Randy Orton, continuing his 3-year long, about to be 4 years, reign as the champion. So there you have that match, and we move on to the third match of the evening, and it is for the WWE United States Championship, with the champion Logan Paul taking on Kevin Owens. And I said it in the preview episode, I was really looking forward to this match. Super looking forward to this match because Logan Paul has not disappointed me. Even I've been waiting on him to disappoint me since he joined the WWE, and it hadn't happened yet. Kevin Owens is one of the best performers in the ring. If you don't believe me, go back and watch that WrestleMania match between Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin, as much as I'm his biggest fan, I love Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's up there. You know, he's a little long in the tooth, as you will. And I wasn't expecting him to really do much in this match, in that match. But Kevin Owens really guided him through that match. He really worked that match and made Stone Cold look like he was the Stone Cold of 1999. You know what I'm saying? It really did look good, and he puts on a performance with everybody he gets in the ring with. And so this was geared up for some exciting stuff. The WWE not Universal, but the United States Championship. And this was a good match. This was a decent match between Logan Paul and Kevin Owens. I think everybody looked strong here. This was a strong outing for both competitors. Uh, Throughout the match, I think this was the first real match that Logan Paul was truly sent through the ringer. I think he was really he was on his heels the entire match. This was his welcome to the about to say NFL, welcome to the WWE world type of match, because he's had matches with Rey Mysterio, he's had matches with Ricochet. He did have that match with Roman Reigns for the championship, which was good. All of his matches were good, but it was more of a showcase type of a deal. This go around, this go around, this was a beating. He went through a beating. The slaps to the chest, you can see the webs and the blood. He even got his nose busted up. Kevin Owens put him through the ringer. he he gave him the business, and it was a nice back and forth. They sold the broken hand. Um, they pulled off some good moves on each other, some real good spots throughout this match. And ultimately, Kevin Owens lost to Logan Paul, who retained his championship. But Kevin Owens still looked strong due to the disqualification with the interference with who that was, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, who gave Logan Paul the nunchucks, and that didn't work out too well. Kevin Owens was able to get the did I say nunchucks? The brass knucks. The brass knucks. It's a long night, everybody. I'm watching. It's been a long night. The brass knucks got that from Logan Paul. He used them and had the 1, 2, 3, but the ref saw the brass knucks on Kevin Owens' hands, causing the disqualification, where Logan Paul retained, but Kevin Owens looked strong, even to the point where, hey man, after the match, he beat up Logan Paul some more, put him through a table, and it was good. It was good. But those were your championship matches. Now it's time for the main event. Now it's time to see who will main event WrestleMania on the men's side as we enter the 30-man Royal Rumble for a World Championship match at WrestleMania. Oh boy, this is going to be good, as as Booker T would say. Yeah, this is going to be good. Are we going to get those surprises like we got in the women's Royal Rumble match? Are we going to get the outcomes that a lot of people have predicted? We shall see. And we begin with some good storytelling here. This Royal Rumble match wasn't, I don't know how can I describe it? It wasn't like the women's Royal Rumble match. It didn't have the shocks and surprises. This was more straightforward storytelling on a lot of fronts, a lot of different storylines that were woven in this 30-man battle royal, which in my opinion gave it more pathos, if you will. During the match, the crowd was kind of dead, but I don't think they knew what was going on. They were looking for the shocks and the ahs from it, and don't get me wrong, so was I. But at the same time, I was like, well, I'm cool. I'm cool with what's going on here because it is interesting. And so we start off at number 1, main event Jey Uso. Like, okay, that's good. So who's gonna be number 2? Well, hey, it had to be, and it was the perfect call. Jimmy Uso, his twin brother. The two of them together was probably the greatest tag team in WWE history, and they've been on different paths ever since Jey Uso cost well, Jimmy Uso cost Jay the undisputed championship when he went up against Roman, and they went head to head first. And I thought that was a good way to get into this match. That was an exciting start to this match. You know, the tension, the drama there. Good way to go with it. Then at number 3, you have Grayson Waller, who is just there for cannon fodder, but whatever. And then we get our, I would say, one surprise return out of this 30-man battle royal, and that was the return of Andrade. Andrade returns to the WWE after his stint in AEW, where I can honestly say he was underused there. But it's good to see him back in the WWE, and you know, he had a good showing in this match. After Andrade, we had Carmelo Hayes, Shinsuke Nakamura, Santos Escobar, Karrion Kross, Dirty Dom was in this scamp, yeah, and put on a decent performance throughout this Rumble. You have, after Dominic Mysterio, Carlito enters the match. Bobby Lashley, Ludwig Kaiser, Austin Theory, Finn Balor, Cody Rhodes enters the match. After Cody Rhodes, we have Bronson Reed, Kofi Kingston in his 16th Royal Rumble match, which is basically a record. Is pretty much a record. Well, not pretty much. It's a record. 16 straight appearances in the Royal Rumble. And Gunther enters the match and goes ham on everybody. Ivar enters the match. Then we have Braun Breaker come in. And Braun Breaker, man, I am so excited for him. I'm looking forward to him getting on the main roster. Braun Breaker has it. Whatever it is, he has it. He has it all. The ring work. He is an animal. He is an animal, and he was an animal in this match. Omos makes a return back. I don't know where he's been, but all 7'2" of him entered the match. Pat McAfee, and this was the part where I kind of mentally I was checking out when he got in the match, because it was a wasted spot. He got in, he and he eliminated himself 5 seconds later, and it was like, well, what was the point of that? That you could have had that spot for anybody, anybody else on the roster. I just felt that was a wasted opportunity for another return, or just somebody else on the roster. I mean, pick somebody. It didn't matter. After Pat McAfee wasted our time, you had JD Madonna enter. After JD Madonna, R-Truth finally got it right and entered the correct Royal Rumble. And R-Truth is, man, if R-Truth isn't the best thing going comedy wise at the WWE, I don't know what is. I love R-Truth. R-Truth is money. The dude got in there with Dominic Mysterio, and he's in the corner trying to get Dominic Mysterio to tag him in like they was in a tag match. It was just hilarious. I loved it. It was gold. I know a lot of people probably don't like it. It's probably aggravating, throws off the tone or whatever. I disagree. I feel differently. I love R-Truth. You need that. You know, you need that in wrestling. Everything can't just be brooding and, you know, big men slapping meat and all this other good stuff. No, you need some comedy. You need some entertainment, and he brings that. He brings it and does an excellent job at it. After R-Truth entered the match, you have The Miz, Damian Priest, CM Punk enters, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, and entering at number 30, the last man in the men's Royal Rumble match was Sami Zayn. And as much as everybody loves Sami Zayn, didn't get a pop. 30 usually gets a pop. That didn't get a pop because I think a lot of people had expectations for that spot for somebody else, somebody bigger. And it I'm not gonna say it was a waste, but it was okay. you know. But we get to the final four in this match, and the final four in this match was Gunther, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, and Cody Rhodes. A perfect final four. The two biggest in this final four, Gunther and Drew McIntyre, they got eliminated, which gave us the final two that the world has been waiting on, with Cody Rhodes and CM Punk coming off of their somewhat historic promo from last week on Raw. It was just a matter of time before they linked up, and they actually had a wrestling match at at the end of this Royal Rumble, and the back and forth, and I found myself sitting here torn because I'm a fan of both of them. Because quite honestly, I would have got upset either way. I would have been happy either way. Like I am right now. I'm happy that Cody Rhodes did win, but at the same time, I wanted CM Punk to win. And if it would have went the other way, it would have been the same feeling, vice versa. And the reason for Cody, I kind of want to see CM Punk to win slightly more because Cody just won last year. And he's the first back-to-back winner of the Royal Rumble since Steve Austin did it. I think, in 97 and 98, went back-to-back. And, it could have been sooner than that. I'm not 100% on that. But I know it was Stone Cold, the last person who went back-to-back in the Royal Rumble. But it's been a minute. But I wasn't expecting that. But at the same time, after the match, and I sat on it for a couple of minutes, I was like, okay, I can dig it. I can dig it because we all know who he's going to challenge. He did it. He pointed at Roman Reigns after he won. After he pointed at the WrestleMania sign, he pointed at Roman Reigns. So we're going to get that yet again at WrestleMania, which is fine because that still leaves the door open for CM Punk and Seth Rollins, which is the match that was basically set up the moment CM Punk returned. And so all is right in the world if that's the way they're going to go. Now the only question is, it's not the only question, where does The Rock fall in this? What was the purpose of that? What was the purpose of that? Because if they make this a triple threat match, it doesn't have the same allure. It doesn't have that same pop. If it was just Roman versus The Rock, for the head of the table, or in Cody's defense, finishing the story, it doesn't make sense there. So I guess The Rock situation is not going to happen at WrestleMania, which is a bummer. It's a bummer, but it is what it is. And Triple H, I trust. This was a good Royal Rumble. I'm not mad at it. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the greatest, because I did have some expectations that didn't come to fruition. But, I can say that about every premium live event. So it's all good because most of my predictions didn't go the way it went. I did choose Bailey to win the women's, and that came true. Nothing else did. I chose because I did choose AJ Styles to beat Roman Reigns for the title, and that didn't happen. I chose Kevin Owens to beat Logan Paul. That didn't happen. And for the men's, I don't think I picked anybody. Or did I pick CM Punk? I think I did pick CM Punk, but I didn't pick Cody. I know that much, and that didn't happen. So, but it's all good though. I do like what's in front of us, going forward. So we shall see. We shall see how all this going to play out moving forward. Uh, to give my ratings of all four matches, let's begin with the first match, the women's Royal Rumble match. Out of 5 stars, I give the women 4 out of 5. I think that was the best match of the night. It was a little sloppy in the middle, you know. But I understood the story element of it all. And so to get to where we were heading at the end of that match, we had to go through those little bumps and bruises in the middle of the match. So I excuse it for that. So I give the women's 4 out of 5 for the the fatal 4 way for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. I give that 3.5. It was a good match. I wanted a little more out of it, but I guess that's the most you can do in a fatal 4 way, because anything else, it would have just drug, I guess. And, the outcome was kind of predictable once you got to a certain point in that match. You knew what was going to happen. But overall, everybody came, brought their A game, at the very least, A minus game. And so I did enjoy that match. It gets 3.5 out of 5. Jumping into the United States Championship between Kevin Owens and Logan Paul, that gets 3.5 or 3 3/4. I'll kind of, yeah, 3 3/4. I'll get that was a good match. That was a good match. Good storytelling, good wrestling, good spots. Probably should get it 4. You know what? I'm gonna round it up. It gets 4. It gets 4 stars for the United States Championship match. I enjoyed it. I really did. I enjoyed that match. Shouldn't have been as good as it was, but it was. Good job from Kevin Owens and Logan Paul there. And moving on to our main event, the 30-man Royal Rumble match. Out of 5 stars, I give it 3.5. It was all right. It was all right. It was safe, solid, even. It wasn't bad. It just didn't have any wow moments. And I guess my mind is kind of set on the wow of the Royal Rumble. Who's going to show up? Who's going to surprise us? As the match was going on, getting late in the match when it started withering down to, the final 8 to 6, you knew where it was going. So, because you could tell, because when CM Punk and Cody Rhodes was in the ring together and they had the other men in there, they never went after each other. They always went after somebody else. They never confronted each other. And I was like, okay, they saving that to the end. And sure enough, they were the final 2. And so it was predictable. And that's what kind of dings it for me. But I'm not mad at the prediction, because the outcome was great, man. The match, the Royal Rumble match was decent, but the actual match, I guess you could say, between Cody Rhodes and CM Punk was cool. And to give it a little more, I guess, salt in the room for Tony Khan. Isn't it hilarious to sit there and watch Cody Rhodes, who helped create AEW, CM Punk, who was AEW's biggest star just up to last year, or the beginning of last year, to be in the main event of the Royal Rumble, the last 2 competitors in the Royal Rumble for the WWE, is hilarious to me. I don't know why, but it's like, and there's nothing bad against AEW. I'm not an AEW hater, but it is hilarious when you think about it. The 2 biggest stars in AEW at their respective times there are headlining this giant WWE premium live event. I mean, that is salt in the wound, man. But yeah, I give this match 3.5 stars out of 5. Decent, decent job, decent job. Once again, this was a pretty decent Royal Rumble. I was not disappointed at all. Uh, just have my wants, that I wish I could have received and I didn't get it. But to be honest, I could say it. I wanted to see MJF. I wanted to see him pop up. As one of those entries. I wanted to see Okada pop up as one of those entries, just shock the world a little bit. But what we got is good. It was a showcase of all the talent that is here in the WWE, and I'm encouraged moving forward, especially on the women's side. On the women's side, man, the future looks bright. It looks really bright. Some really nice stars, superstars, should I say, coming up the ranks, and in the men's even, the you know even the mid cards there didn't feel like mid carders. You know what I'm saying? It looked good. It was a good showcase, and overall, I enjoyed this pay per view. But I would love to know, how did you enjoy it? Did you predict all of these outcomes in this premium live event? You knew Cody Rhodes was going over. Did you know Bailey was going over? Did you know that Roman Reigns was going to retain along with Logan Paul retaining? Now, I would love to know what were your thoughts, your opinions, your predictions, and did they all come true? And are you looking forward to Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania coming up soon? Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also look up the KB Radio Network on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel on YouTube as well, everybody, and like this video too. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to Faces and Heels, your pro wrestling podcast here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this recap and reaction to WWE's Royal Rumble. Oh man, WrestleMania season is here, and I am here for it. Can't wait to speak to you when we preview, react, and recap Elimination Chamber next month, live from Australia. Until then, y'all be good. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do, which isn't much. Peace.